picture.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and get started. So this is the Shakita Inu AMA with Useless. So at Useless, what we do is every time we have a listing on the Eclipse app, if you open up, sorry, in the All for One app, if you open up All for One and you see the rankings, it's one of the first things that pops up. The Eclipse rankings is our decentralized ranking system, and it's currently going through an upgrade right now as we migrated to V3. And so we're going to have our new Eclipse on both Harmony and on Binance. Right now, we're still using our legacy V2 Eclipse, so it's still working just fine. It's just we need to get upgraded here, and we're going to have that upgraded here in the next week or so. But anyway, yeah, Shakita Inu, thanks for joining us today, and appreciate you being on. It's really quite a pleasure to learn more about other projects and what they're doing, so that when you see that little icon appear in Eclipse rankings, you're not just like, who are these people, but actually get to know a little bit more in depth on who the team is and whatnot. A little bit of disclaimer before the show is that this is not an official endorsement to go out and buy, right? Always do your own research. And, as for every Eclipse token, we do some preliminary vetting, but it's just always important to just, to listen to interviews or to research the project itself, and to find out more. But this is one of the reasons that we're here. So.
Yeah, thanks for having me. People in the community call me CJ. It's short for Cryptojesus. That was like the pseudonym I started about a year ago. So yeah, I created Shakita Inu, and that's why I'm here talking about it. I'm the founder of the community, so happy to be here.
And Jackie is with us as well, hiding under the Useless name.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm excited to learn more about Shakita Inu today.
All right, well, I'm going to just start off with a question. If you could just give maybe a 2-minute introduction into into yourself, and then maybe a quick introduction into the history of the project, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, so I started my own community called the Crypto Gods on Telegram. It was around February last year. My name obviously was Cryptojesus, so it had like an affinity with the Crypto Gods name. And the community was just about like general crypto trading advice and information, and just people hanging out and talking about crypto and sharing, ideas and opinions and stuff like that. I came across a lot of similar groups and channels on Telegram back then, and even in the last bull run, because I've been in crypto since like 2016. So yeah, like this, I kind of was prepared for this bull run in that sense, and I saw a lot of similar groups, but for some reason, they were charging money for people to join the channels and groups. I guess it's a profitable thing, and I just decided to do it for free because I couldn't really find any for free that had that sort of community vibe going on, and also like lots of, trading advice, TA, and stuff like that. So that's why I did it, and it eventually progressed into wanting to create a coin, because I guess everybody in crypto, everyone with a group and a community kind of just has that idea to do something bigger. It sounds like a fun idea. I mean, that's what the crypto space is all about, giving people the power to just create something out of nothing and come together as a community and, create the utility for a coin. So I actually did that first with a token called Divine, but shortly after I launched Shakita, and Shakita was actually just a spontaneous thing. I'm actually in the middle now of writing like the whole journey of Shakita too, and I've got a 3D temple on the Crypto Gods website. It's like a little metaverse gallery space, and people can go in and they'll be able to see the whole journey of Shakita, because it's been a year now. Today's coincidentally the 1 year anniversary of us launching Shakita Renew, and there's a lot to talk about. So I'm probably going to miss some things, but yeah, it's going to be in there for everybody to see. And like I said, I launched it spontaneously, just as a bit of fun. Ironically, I didn't say that this was a project, this was serious. I didn't say this was going to, take over the world or really have any plans. It was honestly just because there was a lot of coins on Ethereum with high gas fees, and we were sick of high gas fees, and there wasn't really many options on Binance Smart Chain with low gas fees and with low tax fees too. So I launched Shakita on Binance Smart Chain with 0% buy tax, 0% sell tax, and yeah, that's how it started. And eventually it grew into more than that, clearly, but that's the start. So I'll leave it there for now, so you can ask me some more.
Sure. No, I appreciate that introduction. It's kind of funny you say that. A community gets together and like, let's create a token. Something that I would never recommend for anybody out there. That's a joke. As actually leading a token community is an awful lot of work, as I'm sure you found.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you have to be really, really committed to it. People don't realize until you do it. And the game has changed as well. Crypto space has changed. It's not like it was over a year ago, to be honest. Like, there's so much competition. There's so much more money in it now. It's not, it's different. I wouldn't just launch a coin willy nilly like I did Shakita back then in today's, conditions, to be honest.
all right. Jackie, do you have a couple of questions? I might need to take a quick break for my voice sake.
Yeah. So can you explain, it says that you guys are deflationary, but can you explain how it's deflationary without a buy and sell tax?
Yeah, so what happened was we had the first token that had a zero buy, zero sell tax. It had a good run, like it did its times 50. It did pretty well. It benefited from Bitcoin having its bull run in early to 2021. And then when Bitcoin tanked, everything kind of follows it. So we went down. We wasn't doing too well. We were still quite a small token, and we had no marketing funds, no development funds, because like I said, when I first launched it, it was a pure meme coin, a bit like Dodge, create the coin and let it be at the mercy of the people kind of thing. There was no development team, and we had no tax, so we weren't getting any funds. So, there wasn't really much we could do. And, it was a shame. So I thought, instead of just letting this die, that's when my mindset changed. And I said, there's a great community here. There's a lot of potential here. We had a lot of fun. Why don't we just relaunch it, a new token, and just slightly tweak the tokenomics and increase the sell tax? I left the buy tax as zero still, because I still did believe it was nice to have a token that you didn't have to pay a buy tax on. But we still needed something to raise funds for developing and marketing. So we added the sell tax. It was 10%, and it was split into various wallets. Like 1% would go to game rewards, because we have a 2D game that's almost finished, and people will play that and win tokens if they're on the high scoreboard. And then 2% was set aside for NFTs, things like getting tokens for holding certain NFTs, prizes, things like that. 3% went to a marketing wallet, so we was finally able to actually start trying to build the community properly. I put a bit of money in myself to like rebrand the website and the logo and make everything look better. And then 4% went into the burn wallet, and the burn wallet is basically what we burn. Everything we burn more than the burn wallet, to be honest, because over time so many tokens have came into the other wallets as well that we was in excess, so we kind of sent them to the burn wallet too. So yeah, 4% of every sell is burned, and that's why it's deflationary, because since the relaunch, all of the tokens are in circulation. There's no more that can be minted. There's no more. The only tokens that we get in the project wallet come from, sales tax. So everything's circulating, and the supply keeps getting smaller over time. We relaunched with 9.9 billion, and now we have 7.9 billion, almost. So it's coming up to 2 billion burned, which is quite a lot, really. We relaunched in August last year. So yeah, the supply keeps getting smaller. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. And I see that it's touted to be a coin that gets to $1. So are you planning on turning the burn off when it gets to $1, or will it stay on forever?
Well, I mean, we do have the ability to stop the burn if we all just decide as a community it makes sense now for whatever reason. But there is no plans to do that. The plan is just to keep letting it burn. As the price goes up, the amount of tokens that get burned will obviously be less, because people will buy less tokens and sell less tokens. The $1 thing, that was more of like so what happened, I realized when I relaunched the token that a lot of these dog coins and meme coins, they don't have much chance of getting to $1. And for some reason that seemed quite important to a lot of communities. They would always say Shib is going to go to $1, Dogecoin is going to go to $1. And if you actually work out, the tokenomics, it's pretty impossible for some of these coins like Shib. They would need trillions of dollars of market cap. It's not happening anytime soon. So I realized, since people like that narrative, why don't I create the supply that's lower and make it actually possible? So Shakita, if we did reach maybe like a third of the market cap of Shib, we would reach $1. And obviously, as we burn more tokens, that goal gets even closer and more possible. So yeah, that's why I did it. But no, we don't plan to stop burning, because if we get to $1, we still won't be the biggest dog coin. And realistically, I would want to become the biggest. I would want to take over Dodge and Shib, just out of having a friendly, competitive nature. I would want to keep going. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you bring up a great point. A lot of people don't realize what kind of money it would exactly take to make those coins as valuable as they hope that they'll be. Um, even for some coins to like reach their former all-time high, we're talking like billions, if not, a very, very large, even higher amount of money. So I think it's good that you're aware of that. And you mentioned earlier that as a community, you could decide to turn the burn on or off. Is your token run a little more like a DAO? Is there a multi-sig, or who has like voting powers in order to do that?
Yeah, so it's not strictly a DAO, because there's no smart contracts or things in place to make it like that. But I do try to kind of run it like that in a sense. I just involve the community a lot. I'm the only one that's being trusted with the tokens and the project funds, and everybody knows that everything's on the blockchain. Anybody can scrutinize or talk about it, ask questions, things like that. So there's never been any issues, and I've always been a bit wary of trusting anybody else with those things, to be honest, because I created it. And I've been scammed in crypto, and a lot of us have been scammed in crypto by people. And sometimes people you get to know and trust, unless you know them in real life for a long time, they turn out to be not trustworthy. So yeah, I've not trusted anybody else with the Shakita funds or anything like that. And sorry, you're gonna have to remind me of the question again, so I can go back to it.
Oh yeah, just how you kind of decide as a community to go one way or another. Like, do you guys do polls or votes or something?
Yeah, so it's Telegram polls most of the time. I just ask people, and we have the team as well. The team is like volunteers from the community too. In a sense, that's all I am, because I've never been paid for anything I've done by Shakita. I've never taken any tokens, never taken any dollars. I've never taken anything. I've just done this whole ride has just been for fun. I mean, there's been financial benefit for me, but just like anybody else, I bought the tokens myself. I told everybody, I'm going to buy the tokens on PancakeSwap like anybody else. And that's what it did. So, I'm just one of the holders. The only difference is somebody has to control and manage some things. And obviously, me being the creator, it makes sense for it to be me. So it's quite a unusual setup, but it's worked for us.
I think trust is a really unique thing to have in crypto. And it sounds like you've done a really great job of that, and obviously a lot better than most. Do you publish your wallet addresses so people know, like, that it's you, holding things?
That's a good question. I've actually not published my wallet address or anybody else's that I know, because we have a whale alliance where basically whales voluntarily vest or lock tokens to make sure that if they want to sell, they do it in what we call a friendly way. We don't just crash the chart because you guys got in early and got a lot of tokens. Some of them didn't get in early, they just bought a lot because they had a lot of money. But obviously, they can be influential. So, yeah, that makes the community stronger. And I could, tell everybody their wallets are my wallets, but it just felt like an unnecessary death, like invading privacy kind of thing. I didn't think it was necessary. Nobody's really asked me to go that far with it. But, if people did, say that, I think we would work it out and we'd make it happen, because, I don't have nothing to hide. So it wouldn't really be a big deal. I mean, I think when it comes to wallets and crypto and stuff like that in this space, most people are more worried about things like the tax man, not having the government spying on where the funds are and stuff like that. But yeah, I actually did burn 50 million tokens when they were worth $150,000. So some people might have become aware of my wallet then, if they were smart enough to go look around that time and figure it out. And some people that I've interacted with might know my wallet. I'm sure a few people do, to be honest, because I have interacted with people for certain little things. But, not everybody. And yeah, I burnt 150,000 tokens myself. That was just to kind of boost the spirits of the community, because when we had a huge run, we had like a times 700 run. Like, it was huge. Anybody that had $1,000 for Shakita tokens, it became worth $750,000. So obviously the correction was really big. And when it started going down the chart, that's when I burned a lot of my tokens. And yeah, $150,000. That's worth more than anything that I've ever cashed out. Even though I have told people that my Shakira tokens have been worth over $1 million at some point. The biggest whale, who's known as CoinChomp, he is not sold many tokens since the launch either. Both of us watched it go times 50 and watched it go all the way back down and didn't make any money because we was in it for the long run. And both of us seeing our portfolio go to over $1 million. His went to over $2 million. And, we've not really taken that much money out. It's just modest amounts. So yeah.
What's your liquidity typically around in terms of percent of market cap?
The liquidity in terms of percent of market cap, I could look right now. I'm going to guess it's around just under 10%.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Yeah, I mean that's a phenomenon with for whales in smaller tokens, like I would say under 100 million. and market cap. That it is just one of those things that you have to deal with, is that your wallet may say a crazy number, but realistically you can't cash out that much because you're going to have such a huge price impact on the way down.
True.
That you're Yeah, and so yeah, it's definitely one of those situations where I've heard people have been in, but because they care about the project, they don't obviously just dump everything all at once. Because yeah, it may give you a payday now, but if you're in it for the long term, then
Exactly.
or if you have sort of like this agreement, like you said, between whales, which is really hard to maintain, by the way. So congratulations.
It,
Um,
it's been hard, but it's happened. And yeah, regarding the liquidity, our liquidity has been in the millions. Like when we was having millions of dollars of volume at the all-time high last October, and yeah, somebody, I did see somebody make a transaction for over $300,000, and I know that they only bought the tokens for, maybe a couple of $1,000s or something. I have no idea who that person is because they've never told me who they are, but I was quite envious of that person. It's a lot. It's a lot of gains to make.
Yeah, but one thing I've learned is that when you do have big whales exit, it's actually not the end of the world, because
No,
things usually bounce back a little bit. But yeah, being in a crypto winter and lower volume, it's definitely more of a challenge to kind of rally the troops and keep things together. And so I think it's a challenge most tokens are currently facing right now.
yeah, you're right. Totally understand and agree with that one.
Cool. So what are your guys's? Do you have how what would you say the utility of Shakita Inu is?
Well, to be honest, um, I don't really focus that much on utility this far because I always think that people kind of pressure themselves, and I've done it at times in the past, to focus on utility too soon instead of building a community that's active and also one that's long term. Because I feel like anybody can create staking and farms and so many other things that everybody else has done, and it's not that needed. But even a wallet like yourself, that's a good way to create utility, and that's why I watched Useless from last year around near the start, and I just kept denying them, and I like how, I don't know, you guys kind of reminded me of Shakita, me and my team, just the way you always kind of like community driven and very transparent. And yeah, I think it's really impressive that you've now got to the point where you've created good utility with this app that you're building, the All for One app. And I'd like to do something like that too, but at this stage, I'm more focused on building the community and in more of like building the brand. So like I want to create. Well, we already have created a song, a Shakita Inu song that we want to promote on streaming platforms and on TikTok and things like that. Something that kind of adds a bit of culture. That's the kind of thing that I'm working on. You might call it utility having a game where you can win tokens. Depends how you look at it. Um, so yeah, in terms of tokens, utility at the moment, it's really just people using it as an inspiration to come together and build something bigger, so that we can have utility. Because I would like to partner with payment integration companies and other brands and stuff, but realistically, with the market being so competitive now, you have to be bigger. Maybe if we'd hold the market cap around our all-time high, we'd be at that point. But we've got to build it back up, and then we'll probably be able to partner with payment integrations and stuff like that. I want to put Shakita into other metaverses, like we've spoke with TCG World. They've got a metaverse that they're building. We want to put Shakita in there. Maybe there's some options to create utility. Same with the NFTs. But yeah, at this stage, there's no concrete plans. But I'm sure if we keep building, the opportunities for utility will be endless. To be honest.
Well, and in a way, it's very interesting to hear that because so many tokens right now are like, we're going to build an NFT exchange, and then we're going to have a centralized exchange, and then we're going to build a metaverse, and we're going to have all these NFTs. And you're like, okay, you're going to do all these really crazy, ambitious plans. And so it's actually kind of a breath of fresh air to be like, you know what, we're focusing on the community. And, because a lot of people will just come in and be like, you know, tell me what project I'm going to invest in for this token. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is more of like a long-term community building endeavor. And that's
Yeah, it is what it is. I've seen people create real good utility, DAO platforms and stuff, and they've got hacked. Some of them have got rugged. But even the ones that got hacked, some of them were legitimate and doing their best. But building something in the crypto space is one thing, but building it right and building it secure, it's a totally different thing. Some of these huge projects are getting hacked for hundreds of billions of dollars. I don't want to be that kind of project. So I'm not in a rush to build a farming platform just because I can. But I do feel like that when the right time comes, the right idea will come. And we're always throwing around different ideas. We'll have ambitions and goals. I'd love to have, an app with a card where you can spend your own crypto using the card, a bit like crypto.com, things like that. We'd all love to have things like that. But, I'm not going to throw my eggs in one basket and rush it. We'll take it as it comes.
oh, that's fair. Jackie, do you have anything? I know you take a quick voice break.
Yeah. So you mentioned NFTs. Like, how do the NFTs kind of integrate with Shakita Inu?
So we created a 10K collection of NFTs to celebrate 10K holders. We kind of fell slightly short of 10K holders, like 9.99 or something, but I launched it anyway. And yeah, people that hold the NFTs, they often get entered into like raffles and random prizes. Like today, there will be. Same with the holders of the SHAK token. There's often what we call Big SHAK Lotto. We'll just random number generator holder, and they'll win a prize like a few $100, maybe $1,000. It just depends. We've even given away. Well, I've offered to give away other prizes. Like cameras and technical goods like iWatches or whatever, but people for some reason turned them down and said, rather just take the tokens. Nobody's ever actually wanted the prize. So I won't be doing that again. But yeah, we give tokens away as giveaways, and that's something that people that hold the NFTs can win. And when the collection does sell out eventually, there will be huge giveaways as well. Millions of Shakita tokens, Tesla giveaway. I mean, somebody will probably turn down the Tesla and say they want tokens, to be honest. But yeah, it's more about. Also, the collection is more about. I don't know how to put it in words, but just having the first NFTs of Shakita while we're small, and obviously we're hoping that we grow really big as a project and as a community. So having those early NFTs will be a good memento and possibly a good, secondary sales investment too later down the line. So yeah, but I mean, there's room to create more utility with NFTs as well. So we've had a few chats about that, but like I say, we just haven't committed to anything in that regard.
Yeah, I see a couple people in the audience. Is this one of the original ones for Crypto Gem, the SHAK Army fam?
Let's have a look. Crypto Gem.
It's got like a pink, and then it's got the Shakita dog.
No, that's actually like just one of our graphics from the website. But the NFT pugs, you can see them little. Some of them have got SHAK masks on, and some of them have not got a mask on, like little pug dog, like Charles, got a blue pug dog. So we created, rather than creating loads of Shakita NFTs, we did it a bit more interesting. We created a new character called Pugs. It's like an army of pugs, and they want to raid the SHAK vaults, raid the vaults for the loot. and you've got to buy them. And if you get one with a SHAK mask on, you've got more chance of winning the tokens because the SHAK mask is a disguise, so they've got more chance of sneaking in and stealing the loot. So we just created like a narrative to make it more interesting, the NFT collection.
That's really cute. I could see that being a really fun game, actually. Like, you know, not even a metaverse game. I feel like the metaverse term is really overused right now, and we're realistically probably very far away from actually becoming Ready Player One. But I think this would just be like a cute video game, even like have it, little pugs put on their mask and they go in and try to get all the treats.
It's so true, yeah. That's something I'd like to do. I'm into games, but the thing is, we started a game. It's a simple game. It looks good. It looks fun. I'm excited to share it, but it's taken longer than expected. So I don't want to commit to another game and say, hey, let's do this till this one's out. So once this one's out, then I guess we can talk about another game because, there is potential for that.
Yeah, I think that's cool. You would, you tie in your NFTs to the game. People have to,
Yeah,
to play. I think that makes perfect sense.
I do. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So I guess, this is our interview with you, but do you guys have any questions since some of your, the SHAK army is here? Do you guys have any questions for us, specifically about Eclipse or the app or anything?
Yeah, I think it would be good for people to ask questions about it because we can buy Shakita Inu on the All for One app. But there is obviously this mechanism with Eclipse, and I might not have explained it well to people. So, yeah, people could ask about that. Is anybody there want to ask about that app?
I see Rodney Smith. If you unmute your mic, you can go ahead and ask. Hello? It's the mic button on the bottom.
Oh, hello? You hear me?
Hi.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I have a question for the founder. Can you explain again what is the utility for SHAK?
What it is? Sorry?
Yes, I'd like to know again, like, what is going to be the future, like the utility for using SHAK?
Can anyone hear what it's in? I can't. Sorry.
What?
I think he said the utility for chat.
Say again.
Hey,
Sorry, what?
Rodney, you still have a hot mic. So I think he asked what the utility for chat was. So was that directed at
Yeah, hello?
for the All for One app?
Yes, my question is, what is the utility for SHAK? Can you explain that again?
Yeah. Yeah, somebody asked that question. We just discussed it. You probably just arrived afterwards. Basically, there's not really any utility in a traditional sense right now because we want to build a community, build it bigger, create more volume utility. We don't want to rush into it, and plus, with it being a bear market, I don't think it would be the best time to even launch or market something with utility right now anyway. So I'd rather wait. But to me, the token's utility to me has always been bringing people together. And I kind of feel like that's priceless. What we've created just off the back of creating the Shakita token, it's been a real journey. There's been a lot of relationships built, a lot of great things, good times, a lot of memories made. And to me, that's the utility of crypto. That's the utility of a meme coin like Shakita, kind of like Dogecoin. It's about creating that community spirit, and then that opens up doors and opportunities for more utility in the future. Like as we see Flocky Inu partnered with Shopping.io, you can use their tokens to buy things, and Travala.com, things like that. That's something we would love to do as well. And we spoke about the game coming where you can win tokens, and maybe down the line we can have it so that can stake tokens in the game in order to win more, something along them lines. There's so many things you can do for utility, but we haven't committed to anything, in a traditional sense. So if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. Yeah, so about the useless app, I've got a quick question because I should know the answer, but I kind of forgot. Is it possible to buy tokens using Visa and Apple Pay, or is that something that's coming in the future?
Yeah, I could answer that. So the two remaining features for the app to be considered a minimum viable product, and we're going to release fully outside of our beta program and launch it on the Apple and Google Play stores. The two features are the in-app purchasing, being able to buy and sell in-app, and then the second feature is the fiat on-ramping. So the fiat on-ramping, we are still evaluating providers because it's the last thing that we're going to do. And Google and Apple Pay, like those, that's something we're definitely evaluating as we're looking at fiat on-rampers. So at the bare minimum, I know that we definitely want to be able to process credit and debit cards. And this would all be through a third-party integration with people who have the proper security and licensure and all that kind of stuff. So that we wouldn't be actually storing any of that information. It would all be like tokenized data. Um, but yeah, ideally we do want things like with be able to pay with Google or Apple, credit and debit, and possibly being able to set up like ACH payments. But again, that's all dependent on the provider that we choose, and every provider is different. We may ultimately have multiple providers because different providers have different benefits, pros and cons for different regions or jurisdictions. And so we want the app to be yeah,
Hold on, RoboCar now.
Bigger.
Jackie.
Yeah, it's RoboCark right now.
Yeah, I thought it was just me. Yeah, the signal went for crypto just then for car.
Okay. Did you get most of that?
Yeah, up until depending what provider you use, basically.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
evaluating, there's different pricing structures and different benefits for, people who use them versus others, how easy it is to integrate. Something like MoonPay is super easy for Apple users from what we understand, but maybe not so much, Android users might not care. So definitely our focus is making sure that the fees are low and that it integrates as best as possible and very clean within the app so that people, anybody could download the app and just start buying.
Yeah. I was looking at these things myself, Simplex and MoonPay. One thing I noticed was they want your token project to have a certain amount of volume. It might be like $100,000 daily volume, something along them lines. So it's not ideal in a bear market for a small coin. But yeah, that's the only barrier I saw. But yeah, I see that they support 80 plus cryptocurrencies on MoonPay. If you were to integrate MoonPay on an app like All for One app, would that mean that you would only be able to process those cryptocurrencies that they support, or would they kind of add any cryptocurrencies that All for One have partnered with and support? If that makes sense, that question.
Yeah,
Well,
it would definitely. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I actually am wondering the same thing. Is it just the backing asset? Like they only support ETH, BNB, Bitcoin, that kind of thing, and then we use the DEX?
Yeah, so we're looking for providers that are going to support the chains that we support. So right now, we currently support Harmony, Ethereum, and Binance. And so at the bare minimum, we want a provider, an on-ramping provider, to be able to at least be able to top off your wallet with those coins so you can swap for any token on that chain using DEXs. So when we say fiat on-ramping, we're not actually going to like have the fiat on-ramping buy the token directly. What you would do is you would do fiat on-ramping to load up on ETH or BNB or one token coins, and then use that to when you click the buy button, that's what you're going to be using to purchase. As you're not using US dollars, you're using the coin that you top your wallet off with. Now, we want two separate flows. Ideally, topping off the wallet is, for people who are more in crypto, they kind of understand that process. For people who are brand new to it, might be a little confusing. So they may want to go in having no coins in their wallet whatsoever, and then they just jump in to buy a token, and then the fiat on ramping happens in that flow where they don't have enough to swap, and so it will just it will walk them through the fiat on ramping in the middle of their swap. But the whole entire experience is designed to be more just like a simple buy and sell, not like a more complicated interface for that more crypto power users are going to, are familiar with like Pancake Swap or Uniswap or whatnot. Um, just very simple buy and sell, and fiat on ramping is, I would say, this is post MVP, that we would have the fiat on ramping in the actual purchase flow. Um, but yeah, that's the two ways that you would do fiat on ramping. Top off your wallet with a particular coin, so that you can swap for other tokens, or in the middle of the purchase to do fiat on ramping in the middle of that.
That's interesting. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, the eclipse stuff. It'd be nice if you could explain that. Nobody's asked about it, but I think people will be interested to know about that.
Yeah, Eclipse is a decentralized ranking system, and it's powered by Useless, the token itself. So if the essentially the it's like King of the Hill. So there we have these proxy contracts set up for each token, and the Useless tokens are like points that you can allocate in these Eclipse contracts. Hopefully you can still hear me. My voice is all over the place right now. Stupid flu. Um, but excuse me.
If you want, I'll take it
But
from
yeah,
here.
thank you. I appreciate it.
So yeah, so Eclipse is actually where our utility is integrated. So you can purchase Useless and send it towards the contract of the token of your choice that you want to raise in its rankings. So let's say you want Shakita Inu to be on the top of the Eclipse chart. You can actually see the balance of the other tokens, and you therefore you would know how much Useless to purchase. You can also purchase BNB or one or something like that. One in about a week or so once that's updated. So you pick a Useless or the backing asset, and then go ahead and throw that at your ranking to raise it all the way up to the top. And currently we have a little over 5,000 active users. So people who are using that and check the Eclipse chart can then see like, oh, this community really likes this token, and they, spent a little money to raise the ranking so that you would see it. And then over time, there is a slight time decay in the tokens. So you won't be king of the hill forever by the time decay of the amount of tokens. Plus, new tokens come along, and have a good week and they want visibility too. So it's just designed to give everybody a chance, you know. And there's also, when you go to CoinMarketCap and you're like, this token is trending today, I'm sure they're paying for it, right? So we're just being really honest about the fact that you can pay for visibility.
Yeah, it's an idea. I understand it even better myself after listening to that. So, do you have any idea at the moment what kind of amount would be spent on the top spot at the moment, by any chance?
If you go into the app right now, I'm going to check for you. So I'm opening up the app. On the top one, and it has a 149. Okay, so this is the V2. So this is before we did our consolidation. Um, so it'd be the equivalent of 723,000 useless in the contract. So that would be that'd be the top spot. And so our plan is to make it easier for people to integrate with the Eclipse contracts. So once we come out with our new version of the Eclipse rankings here, like in the next week or so, um, we want to include a button inside the app that you can click and send BNB over, or send useless over and help bump the ranking of a particular community or project. So hopefully it'll be a much more seamless experience. Right now it's quite a manual process that sometimes can be confusing for community members. So we're trying to make that easier.
Cool, yeah. So it's not too expensive at the minute to boost it, but obviously as the user base grows and you release the final version of the app, yeah, it's probably gonna get bidded up. You know, that price. People are gonna be spending more on it. But yeah, it's a good idea. People are always spending money in crypto and marketing and things for visibility, and the majority of the time, people are wasting money on Twitter influencers that aren't really getting in front of the right people as much as you think they might. So having something like this on an actual app is really beneficial. Yeah, I think something I would use.
Yeah, we'll get it polished here in the next few weeks. Um, So around the time that we do our MVP launch and everything should be buttoned up well. So I wouldn't go through and try to do anything with the Eclipse rankings right now, just in the beta. But like I said, when the new Eclipse system comes up, it should be a much cleaner, more transparent experience for everyone involved.
Yeah. But yeah, in regards to utility as well, I have another project that I started last year that I mentioned as well. The communities are fairly interlinked because Shakita was kind of born in that community in the Crypto Gods. The other project was Divine, a Divine token. So we're launching a platform like a bit like Watcher Guru with the coin voting, things like that. But I want to add more like influencers as well, and I guess it's a little bit how Luna Crush kind of tries to give rankings for the best coin and the best influencer and things like that. We want to combine that idea with the coin voting idea, and there's other things as well. But yeah, the platform is making good progress at the minute, and hopefully that'll be launched in maybe another month or two max. So that'll be with Divine, and naturally, SHAK could end up partnering with that. I could easily just, whatever I build with Divine, relaunch a similar version with SHAK branding as well. Because once you build something, you have the code and you can do something similar, with the other tokens. So there's always going to be chances to create utility with things, for Shakita as well. We could easily launch a coin voting site where, people, we're going to have like a login with your wallet, and you can earn tokens doing certain things. You can spend tokens to gain, more votes and more access to more information and things like that. So yeah, but like I said, we didn't commit to anything. It's just something I thought I'd bring up because it's not like we're just sit here and ignore the idea of utility. Definitely trying to build platforms and give these tokens, more than just the idea of being a cryptocurrency.
Awesome. Is there anybody who wants to come up and ask a question in the few minutes we have left?
Hi there, guys. I just wanted to ask whether there was any sort of integration with sort of current wallets, so sort of Trust Wallet or MetaMask wallets at the moment, or whether any sort of plans to integrate or be able to import those wallets into the All for One app, maybe in the future.
Can you answer that, Jackie?
Yeah. So actually, currently, you can import your wallet directly. Just use your seed phrase or your secret passcode, your 12 letters. And you can import that directly, either a MetaMask, a Trust Wallet. So because we are our own wallet, it is a multi-chain wallet. So you don't just see BEP20 and BEP2 and ERC20 tokens. You will see one tokens as well, Harmony One, since we are launched on there as well. And it's great, like you can see broken out by which chain which tokens you hold. So I highly recommend importing your stuff into the All for One app. We also, unlike MetaMask, that is storing your password secretly on the iCloud, apparently, we do not do that. So there's biometrics enabled. It's as secure as your phone is in your hand, and it can't be hacked. So a very safe option, which is cool. And I think the susceptibility of MetaMask right now is also the Chrome extension, and that's also what's making it easy for people to steal. So we don't have anything like that. So arguably, we're currently more secure than MetaMask.
Amazing.
The private keys and the seed phrases are stored in the encrypted operating system level part of the of your local device, and that's only accessible by the All for One app when you trigger biometrics, and that's only triggered on a few events when you actually use the wallet. So the seed phrase isn't actually pulled and unencrypted for the app to use unless you're actually transferring tokens or trying to export your seed phrase or your private key.
Yeah, I like what Useless are doing. I think these kind of apps in the future are actually going to be more important than exchanges, because over the last few years, everyone in crypto has relied quite heavily on exchanges, and everybody's always like, when are you listing on the next exchange? But I think it's got to the point now where these exchange listings are really expensive, and it's more of like an archaic way to buy crypto, especially for a new user who doesn't really need limit orders and things like that. I mean, even down the line, your app could introduce limit orders if it wanted, I'm sure, later on. But most people just want to click buy and click sell and not mess around, get in and out, and just like the real world. So yeah, I think these kind of apps are definitely gonna be like what's used more. And I think with Trust Wallet and MetaMask having this like Moonpay Simplex integration where you can just go and buy like Baby Dodge straight from Trust Wallet, that's what people are starting to use a lot more now. So that kind of shows that we're going in that direction. But yeah, definitely better that you have an app that's more secure. And I wasn't aware that MetaMask store your passwords and things, but it doesn't surprise me. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I think David and I have to run to a team meeting right now, but this has just been absolutely lovely. We encourage all people to download the All for One app, and if you want to raise the community rankings of Shakita Inu in there, wait a couple weeks and we will have a brand new, fresh, and wonderful Eclipse system with the V3 launch that came along with the token. But yeah, we're excited to see Shakita Inu on Eclipse.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get involved. And in about 45 minutes, I'm going to open up the Crypto Gods Divine Temple for us to have a little celebration party for Shakita. So yeah, everybody head over to the Telegram group, and we'll chat about that more.
Sweet. I love a great party. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming, and we will see you on our next Twitter space.
Thank you.